Hello and good morning, and thank you so much for joining me here in my shop and keeping me company while I work on this radio. Today is May 7th. Yesterday was a nice day, but today a gray and rainy day. That's what they're promising us. So what am I going to do with this radio next? Now that I know it's intact and it works, I think the obvious thing is to get the string put back on. The string came off while I was innocently tuning the radio. It just fell off. So that's almost certainly indicating that there's some kind of misalignment occurring between some of these wheels and the string, and the angle is such that it can just crawl off one of these wheels. I think I know where it's happening already. I have looked at the string. It's intact. It didn't actually break, so it's just dismounted. There is a string diagram we should take a look at and just be sure that this has been done the right way, but generally speaking, if you don't put the string on the right way, that things don't work. So it probably is completely correct. It's probably just a matter of me doing two things. One is putting the string back on, and the other one is figuring out why it came off. Yeah, just on the why it came off, then I can already see an alignment issue. You see how this wheel lines up with this wheel, and the edge of this one lines up with this wheel. That's fine. What's not lining up is this, where the string is coming up from here. It's coming up on an angle conceivably to meet this wheel, and it's pretty clear to me that that's a place where dismounting could occur. Here he comes. See the terrible effect that the operation has had on my cat. Yeah, there's less of him here today, but you wouldn't know. He doesn't show any sign of it, and his brother's the same. So that surgery is extremely minor, I guess. Really, I mean, to a guy, it doesn't sound minor to me at all. But you're gonna show us your part now? Maybe not. We don't want to see your part. It's been surgically. Oh, here it comes. Oop, did you get a look at it? No. Oh my gosh. They can't just ignore the poor cat. Look at how upset he is. Oh my. You want to go again? What? You want to go for another trip to the vet? So our vet, I'm sure, like most vets, is very, very nice. All the employees and that are very, very nice. And they obviously take great care of the pets that come in. Okay, back to this now. Back to this. So to be a little more specific, I think the string comes up from down here, rises up, and gets onto this pulley, and they're way out of alignment. And it's not because something's wrong. So let's take a look at the stringing guide. What are you looking for? You like the pencil, eh? What is going on here? Oh my gosh. This is what it's like all day in this house. I'm busy doing something, and the next thing I know, I'm doing this. Petting one of these guys. Can you hear him purring? I'm sure you can. While they were at the vets, and unconscious, they got their nails clipped. So yesterday, I noticed the cat went to scratch something, and because there's no grip anymore, he fell right onto his face, basically. Unexpected. Hey, what's happened? Oh, for crying out loud. Oh, here comes the other one now. Okay, now we're cooking. The radio doesn't matter at this point. It's all about cats on my channel. What are you doing down there? So they get into a mood, you know. There he goes. They found a hole to get past stuff and get in behind underneath my bench. Look, you guys are wrecking havoc. Oh, don't, not on that. This is my little strip light here, which they dismounted some time ago. It's all wrecked up. I'll show you what I mean. That's the light. Come on. Wow, don't bite that. That's not good. Yeah, I gotta turn the power off here quick. Holy smoke. Somebody come and help me here. Quickly. Yeah, it's a gang. There's a gang of two. I got one guy down here chewing my lights. Come on. Look. Stop chewing. Oh, man, he's bit. Yeah, this is what goes on when the camera's not running. You know what? I need something to get you guys occupied. How about this? How about a Grinch finger? How about a Grinch finger? Is that a good idea? Oh yeah, they don't have claws. I don't have to worry about being scratched. Well, they have claws, but they're dull. Now, what's happened to my camera here? There we are. The camera's always averaging out the amount of light that's striking it, so if you have a dark area like down here and a light area up here, it's liable to overdo the light area. Oh my gosh, will you come out of there? Okay, here. I got one going. Come on. I need something. I need a toy. Some kind of toy that's better than that. They love pieces of paper. I don't think this is the right. Is this the right kind? Okay, there we go. My problems are solved. Okay, now get back to the radio. Oh my gosh! Well, I hope you get a kick out of this. You know, these cat breaks that occur here. I find them as entertaining, or maybe more entertaining than the radio itself. So, okay. So I was just commenting about the angle here being permanently incorrect. We were going to look at the stringing diagram. That's right. Yeah. Let's look at the stringing diagram here. What are you doing now? Don't do that. Okay, here's the stringing diagram. Sometimes these diagrams, because it's a 3D thing, and they're showing, in reality it's 3D. Okay, that's a cat going by. They tend to show this in a way that doesn't quite look realistic. So, not to get confused here, for instance... Yeah, they have shown this wheel turned the way it is, but all this stuff, I mean, it's hard to describe it. Suppose this was a door, and the hinges were over here, and you swung this door closed. Does that help? I don't think that helps one bit, but okay. Some interesting things here. How come they're showing the string connected on the front of the pointer? This is looking at the radio from the front. Except this has been swung out. This is also swung out in the diagram. We can look at the number of times around here, and also it starts towards the front and works its way towards the back of this control, and that's how it's done. And here we go once around, twice around, and out. But on this thing it's got once around, twice around, 3 times around, 4 times around, and out. That's a pretty clear indication that somebody else put the string on. It's not a factory string job. The string itself, if you see they've drawn it with kind of a dotted line here, but I think what they're really depicting is what the string actually looks like. Often these strings are black with a bit of white in them, and they're thick. This looks thick to me. The string that's on here is much more like a thread. Oh my gosh, did they do it with thread? So one of the problems with some thread is it's stretchy. And you cannot have stretchy string in these things. I'm just pulling on it now. It feels pretty, it does not feel like it has any stretch in it at all. But it sure seems too thin. Now, considering the string is off, I have, and I can see how it runs, and I have a stringing diagram, I have better string. The knob here is interesting. Instead of it being just a shaft and the string is wound around it, the shaft has been scored, so it has grooves running along its length, and the grooves can grip the string, and that's an unusual thing. I don't usually see that. Let me come up here. So you can see here what they've done is both ends of the string are attached to the spring here. Often in these radios, one end of the string is fixed and the other end is spring loaded. The way this one's done, this is not done that way at all. But maybe I just took a note of something here. Yeah, like this is not. I'm looking at this part on the radio. We'll look at it in a moment and compare it to this. What else is there that I can derive from this? A string comes across, goes all the way around before it goes in. This one comes out like that. Well, okay. Let's see if anything else. For some reason they're showing that the pointer as if it's behind the string here. Don't know why they would do that. Okay, great. Before the cat makes a terrible mess here. Yeah, this is what I'm up against while I'm trying to work on my computer screen and talk to you. This is what's going on. You don't want that stuff, cat. It's amazing how hurt these guys are after having an operation. They can hardly move. Just look into the camera there and say goodbye. Goodbye. Down you go. Go find your brother. Get into trouble. So we wanted to talk about this and the difference of how it's done. Now, more than one way to string a radio. Not, not really, but maybe in some finer points, some variations could occur and they'd all be satisfactory. This might be one of those variations. So, on the diagram, we saw the string come in, knotted here, and then the spring going down to this grip. While I was talking, I went, what I saw was this string could be pulled down around this little tang here, and maybe that's what popped off. That doesn't make any sense, because see how the spring, even this doesn't make good sense. The spring's coming around here, it's going to restrict the string's pull. Oh, it just came off. Coming off everywhere, which is the thing about these strings. You start fiddling with them, they're off everywhere. So I have to make a little decision about whether I want to put an entirely new string on here. The thing about this string is it has, like, these are like factory clamps. People don't do, like people like me don't do that. We just tie knots. So I don't know. Is it the factory string not put on correctly? Maybe this hook should be up here with this one. Like if somebody tried to do this without the stringing diagram, I'm good luck. And then maybe this goes down here. Yeah, that's really how it all starts. Okay, so if I'm going to do this, I have to get my tools out, and probably the best thing to do is to try to just put the same string back on. There are some spots that look a little rough, but it doesn't look like it's on the verge of breaking. What is going on out there? Sound like they're tearing the house down. Okay, a little more thought before I start. That's another word for coffee. Well, I just noticed a couple more things here I had missed. So there's this note right on the top here, this view shown looking through dial mask with pointer in extreme left-hand position. Doesn't look very extreme, but I guess it must be if you had the glass up here. I guess it's something like that. I don't know. But look at this one here. String to be fastened to bottom loop of spring. So we look more closely. We see this string comes all the way down to here. And it would looks like they sent it down the middle of the spring, but I don't think they did. I think it's just beside the spring. So we have the spring on this string. The spring was on the other string originally. So that's a significant difference, because the spring is trying to maintain tension through the system, and if you can hobble that if you do this wrong. Okay, that has a big impact on the length of the string also, and ultimately how tight it is. Now, how did it get wrapped so many times around here if it's original? It should be wrapped just as you see it on the diagram here. So still some questions about what we're seeing. Is it original? Is it not? How you terminate this isn't the end of the world, but I think it's better to follow what they're suggesting here. So the spring should be pulling on this piece, and the other piece should just be on the hook here. And they didn't even show the other hook that's over here, which the last guy had used. Okay, let's carry on here. Okay. So then what, if we follow the diagram, take them off here, then this one, didn't I say something, I'll get my tools ready? And I did not get them ready. Let me just get a few goodies out here. Okay, so this guy, here. Putting a string on, to me the main thing is staying calm, cool, and collected. And it may sound like, what's the challenge there? Well, there is a big challenge in trying to stay calm. You also have to accept it's going to take a lot longer than you would think. I think when you start onto this, the string is very loose, which is really what's it show on the diagram? Let me look now. So it shows it coming down and around over this pulley and down. That's not what's happening here at all. So let me look at it again here. So we got a string starting here, comes up, comes down, and immediately heads down this way. I have this wheel in roughly the same position. Maybe we should move it a bit so it matches what's going on the diagram. There we are. So that string should come out. It should be this string. It's not though. Whoa. What am I tugging on here? So maybe the last guy kind of winged this thing and got it good enough. Because if the last guy, if there is a last guy, and he worked on this 25 years ago, he may not have been able to get a stringing diagram like I got so easily. So he may have had to just kind of wing it. Which is not a good idea with these things. So let's follow this string. Yeah, it's going around for another loop. Doesn't look right at all. let's look at coming back the other way. So we have it up. I'm pointing at the diagram here. It's coming across. It's meeting up with this wheel, which is right here. It's turning and going over the top. It's be turning and going over the top, right around and up and in. And there's just, you know, now I've been turning the wheel and whatnot. There's no way there's enough. Look where the pointer is. The pointer's fixed on the string. So in the diagram, the pointer's sitting way over here. And this is nowhere near the same here. Makes me wonder again, should I really just replace this with new string? I don't quite see the advantage. If this is the original string, it's exactly the right length. And that's a big advantage. Why would I give that up? Don't give up the big advantage. So let's do. Okay, so I'll put the pointer in the right place. We'll try anyway. Yeah, as a viewer, you should be saying the same thing to yourself. I'm about to watch Jim for an hour. I see fiddles with this thing. So it's a 5-minute process. No. Not for me, anyway. Okay, so this string has dropped way down. We don't want it way down there. In fact, there's the end of the string right here. So we would put this like this. You know, if the string is on wrong, this will be stuck in a wrong spot on the string. So we start putting the string in correctly, and this will show up in the wrong place. And I think we're about to see that, because, again, if we look at the pointer in the diagram, and we come across to the wheel, and we come down the wheel, and there's nowhere near enough string. There's just nowhere near enough to go past this hole all the way around and back in. There's no hope. At the same time, the other string is way too slack. So I think what's happened here is the guy figured out a way to put the string on, and then he mounted the pointer in the appropriate place based on how he put the string on. Or is the pointer easily moving on this string? In a lot of cases, the pointer is not glued in or really locked in tight, and it can slide on the string. Yeah, this one will. I'm not going to do much to it. Yeah, it'll slide, but it's tight. It's quite appropriate, actually. Because sometimes one of the last things you're doing is putting this very carefully into the right spot on the string. So you can't be gluing this unless you're absolutely certain. You can only be certain right at the end. So it would look like you should pull the string this way, push the pointer way down here again, and then use the slack to achieve this whole thing. That's a lot. That's a lot of string. Take this one off here. For some reason I'm doing that. I don't know why. And we're going to pull back slack. Lots and lots of slack here. Okay, try sliding this pointer and pulling the string through it. Hope I'm doing the right thing. Going fast and coming around. Still need a lot more string. Like a lot of string. Okay, where are we now? Come down, around. Now the order of these things on the wheel is important too, so they don't cross inappropriately. I'm still a mile off. Is it because this is not in the right? That doesn't make any difference, does it? Where this is sitting. It's roughly, according to the diagram, it's something like that. Well, it does make a difference. It's not as far. It's still a lot farther away. Now what about this guy? Let's pull this right out of here. And if he's wrapped it too many times around the control shaft there, he's taken up some string. And if this is the original string, there's no excess to take up. So So by winding it too many times around here, camera's just a little bit close. Let's just pull it back a little bit. Okay, but now this string is supposed to come up, catch this wheel, and then go in. Catch this wheel and then go in. You can see I got lots of excess string here. Okay, it's all adding up. So we want to pull more string through here. This is all bunched up here. The string is wrapped onto itself, which is what happens in these things. Especially if you're messing around with it. That's a real mess. Gee, I wonder if I should reduce this to the right number right now. I think I should. I think that would be a smart move, based on everything I've sort of come to believe about this. So we're going to pull out one turn. I'm going to pull out another turn. And then we're going to count this. It's supposed to start at the front and go to the back. So that's once, twice, and then out. If you look at the diagram, it's once, twice, and then out. Yeah, that's it. So this is what is expected. As you turn the knob here, the string will travel back and forth. That's why this piece is so large. A lot of radios, they use what I call a bobbin in here, which is a shaped like a U-shaped valley, and the objective is for the string to constantly slip to the bottom of the valley. And the reason it'll do that is because the bobbin shape gets wider, right? It has like flanges getting wider. And the string begins to climb up the side, it pulls more and more tension on the string, and that causes it to slip back down. This is different. This one is much more. This one's done with a different idea, and that is they're going to allow the string to travel the whole distance. Okay, enough talk about that. So this is supposed to put the string over here. Let's just check this one out. Come up here, and then come up here, and we haven't even figured out how to dismount it, and then go down. Oh, I got a lot of slack here. Yikes! How'd I end up with that much slack? So we want to pull it back. That. I guess if you were the factory guy, probably put the new guy on the strings. That's probably what they did. The new guy had to take the string job. But I'll bet you after you've done 5 or 6 of these radios, especially if someone shows you the tricks that are known about how to do it, you probably get pretty quick at it. Okay, so now we have some problems here. I'm starting to lay the string in properly, which means it has to maintain tension. If it doesn't maintain tension, it'll fall off. So, and also I need to trap it so it won't dismount. So I'm going to stop and just gather up a few more tools here. Okay, here we go. Serious attempt number 1 to put the string on. Yeah, spring. One of the tricks I use, you see this big wheel here that the string goes on. I'll let the string go behind the wheel, then it can't fall off. It's totally slack when it's like that, but at least it can't fall off. It can't fall forward and then other things start falling off. So I'm going to set up another wheel the same way. You might not be able to see this one. We're just going to make sure the string is behind the wheel. Okay, and now I want to pull off the excess slack here. Not to worry about where the pointer's ending up. Let's see how this works out. This is supposed to come around. And then go in and catch the spring. So now there's a lot of slack in the system. Let me hang the spring off the end here. And we're going to get rid of the slack now. So first one I think would be the big wheel, which is most of the slack is going to go on the big wheel here. Yeah, I'm not showing you how to do this. I'm showing you how I do this. This is what it's come to for me. Oops. Okay. Still an awful lot of slack in the system here. Wow. Let's just keep going. And then get up onto this wheel. There's no way this is going to consume all the slack. Well, maybe it will, if I get everything just right. And if it's the original string, it has to. I'm going to hook it way over here. Oh my gosh, it's still, it's coming off here. Huh. So because I unwound it here, I think I've let out the slack that I now need. I think I let out too much slack. Maybe I should have left this just the way it was. My thinking was I needed slack in order to achieve the correct installation up here. Apparently not. So you could pull this tighter, or release it all the way back, wrap it twice and stick it back on. Then I'm going to do that. We'll mimic what was here. The assumption is this is the factory installation here that I'm dealing with. Oh, there's some junk in my plier. Plier or pliers? Is this plural? Out you come. See, it's caught behind the other string anyway, so I had a big mistake going on in here. So we can correct that. Big mistake. Uh-oh, string coming off here. Oh, spring, string, everything coming off. Stay calm. Keep calm and carry on. Spring range in here either. Pull it back here. And I can pull the tension. We keep the tension on here. Then we're going to wrap this twice more. You know what? It's not a lot of string. Look at my tool here I use. I call this the puller pusher. Can you see it's reverse bent hook, and the other end is just a hook. But this reverse hook is very useful at times. It's my own invention. And once more around. Okay, now we want to come up over top of this wheel. Is that enough clearance there? Yeah. Over the wheel. Stay calm. Coming down. Oh, it just wants to go right there. I'm going to put it over here because for reasons I can't explain. Let's put it where it's just a little tighter here for now. This is where everything falls off. Don't let that happen. The string here is roughed up pretty bad. I don't think I'm helping it much. There. Okay. So we can pull more tension here, and this should be just about enough. Just about right. Put this back on the wheel. Tension good. Well, there's still another one to pull. Okay, so we need to release the tape here in case it's holding back. This does not look right. The wheel is, pull this off. So the capacitor is at its limit. It looks okay. That looks okay. Pull this off. So we're on everywhere but one wheel back here, and the tension is pretty good already. And that's because I've got this on a tighter setting. If I slide this over here, right, slide that over there, and then we'll this is where you break the string. We still haven't examined exactly why it dismounted in the first place, and you could assume whatever it was that caused that is still there. There we go, I got it. Okay, now we'll pull the last bit here. I have a 500,000-year-old rock on the floor that's interfering with the feet of my tripod there. Okay, so we're going after this one here. Pull it. I'm going to encourage the spring to stretch while I do that. No problem. No problem at all. Spring has a pretty good stretch in it. Now, we don't want this to dismount right away. Not as much tension as I would want, but I'm going to turn this a couple times, and that'll cause the string to kind of relax into its final position. Oh, thank God it's going the right way. How many of these? Oh, it just went totally slack. So it fell off right here. This is exactly what I wasn't watching, but this is exactly what I thought was happening. Because of the misalignment between here and here. which is really obvious if you look at the front now. How are you going to keep this on? So if you look at this pulley, it has a sharp flat wheel here, and then it has a nice rounded one here. And I think the idea is it was just designed in order to be able to slip in even on this angle. And what's happened is this has gotten really corroded here. So the surface, instead of being a slip surface, is a grip surface. Now, can we actually see this happen? So I'm going to switch to a different camera here. I'm going to look very closely at how all this is happening. First of all, verifying my theory is correct. Is the theory correct? So what I'm thinking is the string coming up here is climbing off this wheel. Let's see if I can, I'm gonna take control of the focus here. So just bear with me for a moment while I do that. Because the autofocus will drive us nuts. Plus I can force the focus onto different things. Like I want to focus on that wheel right there. So we're trying to watch what the string is doing right at this point here. Like you see, it's climbing off right away. Right? It didn't get anywhere. So you can go this way all you like, but not that way. And I'm sure it's exactly what I said. So you can just see it's just gripping the string and pulling it off. How this didn't happen immediately, or how the string was on when I got this, that's the end of the run. Perfect. So what can we do here? Polish up that wheel? How have they've locked it on? Looks like they've locked it on by squeezing this part. How's this wheel staying on? Yeah, that's what they did. They just squeezed this end part of the shaft and it made it wider. You can get a certain amount of mileage bending this part here. Is it screwed? Hey, you know what? This part is. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at how they've done this. I can't show it to you. Here we are. Look at the screw and the slot. This is totally adjustable. So what? It's been adjusted to line up with the big wire, the big wheel. But they failed to take into account this. So I think the name of the game is to loosen that off, swing this wheel over a little bit, because the distance here is very small. That's not by mistake. In fact, it's not even lined up there, is it? But I bet you if I swing it over, it'll line up better. Or slide it out, swing it over, just relocate it so it's in a better position and get rid of these angles, this sharp angle here. That's got to do it. Okay, with that in mind, I am going to go and have some coffee. Okay, let's see what we can do. It's got one of these weird slotted head screws that I don't have a screwdriver for, but it looks like this would work on it. Just before I loosen it, no, it won't. I can't get the angle right. Oh, yeah, it will. It will bite it. Okay. So I think the objective here is to swing this guy over while so it's kind of lined up with this, but at the same time the top edge is lined up with this. Does that make any sense? Made enough sense to me. And then I got to be able to lock it back. Okay, let's see if we can get it loose. First of all. Yeah. Okay. The idea would be to kind of pull it out. Looser. Looser. Pull it out and move it over. About like that. Ooh, what's it doing here? It's traveling on it. Oh, the string is pulling it. I'm basically pulling against the spring here. Let's try that. Okay, we'll put the other camera back on. What do you do now? It's still trying. It's trying its best. Now, extra string tension would help with this kind of problem, but buffing up that wheel there is really the best way to go. How am I going to do that? Of course, the other way, there's no problem. You have to look at the angling in here, too. And I think it's laying it... Let's just go all the way here. Okay, I don't really hit the end there. Nice, solid hit. Go back the other way. Let me put a knob on this control here so I can go a little quicker with it. Okay. Can't go quicker with a big knob. Look at the string here. Let me just back up. I'm just looking at it right in this area here. Looks roughed up. Definitely looks roughed up. And we're at the end. Okay, we'll go back. There we go. Now I got speed. All the way. We're all the way back. And forward again. So there's nothing bad going on here. Everything is good. Very good. I will polish this up a little bit. I'll do it off camera because there's no reason to see that. Now we want to look at the pointer location on the front of the radio. Usually these radios come with some kind of clue as to where the pointer should be under certain circumstances, like when you turn this wheel all the way one way, let's say this way, and you look for some kind of indication or mark on here. In fact, interestingly enough, it's lining up almost exactly with the bracket that this pulley is mounted with. It's just that little tiny gap there. So it really can't be any more to the right. So we'll go to the left now. Okay. Well, there's no stop here, except the closer you get to the wheel here, let me show you what happens. The closer you get to the wheel, the steeper this angle becomes. And you begin to feel that in the tuning knob. Because it starts to pull tension in the string. You can feel it. Actually, we're right at the end of the run anyway. Yeah, that's the capacitor banging. So putting the pointer farther makes this more and more difficult in a radio. You wonder, well, why don't they have this up higher? I don't know the answer to that question. Same thing happened on the other side? Not really. You can see we're coming right up against this. So we could guess the pointer's too far this way, but I see no hint. The hint could be, unfortunately, in the radio on the dial face, which is not too helpful, but I guess the expectation is you could reach in, slide the pointer around a bit on the string. Maybe there's a hint in the manual. I'm going to study the manual a bit. So the stringing diagram does make a statement here. This view shown looking through dial mask with pointer in extreme left-hand position. So if this is the extreme left-hand position, and that's the position my radio's in right now, I can see that this wheel is more or less looking like this, but my pointer, you know, like this is almost halfway on this diagram from here to here, but my pointer's way over here, and it looks correct, or way more correct than this. I'm pretty sure if you put the pointer here with this all the way this way, the pointer's going to crash into this wheel. I mean, it's not going to work. So I don't think there's any guidance here whatsoever. What's that say? So they're just telling you how to push the buttons on the push button part of this. Do we see any other hint? What about down here? Drive cord and calibration lineup. Volume control, voltages, type of voltmeter. I don't think we're going to get any help here. I think, what is all that? Oh, this is the tuning push buttons, and this is showing you how to slide a screwdriver in to lock and unlock this while you're adjusting the. It's kind of like these buttons work by what I would call a pincer action on a dial bar. What the heck is he talking about? Pincer action on a dial bar. So there's no hints here. Would it be some chance? Oh, maybe written in here. Let's see. All right, so this is about setting up automatic push buttons. So this is about putting the labels on, tune the desired. No, this isn't going to tell us anything about where the pointer goes. Okay, you know what we'll do? We'll take a look at the front of the radio and see if there's something on the dial face that might be a hint. What about these other? Is there any chance that there's anything in here? Dummy antenna. Perform operation in numerical order. Well, this is the alignment procedure, so the pointer is a big part of that. Maybe it's in the alignment procedure. No. They say anything right in here? No. No. They're not talking about the pointer. Come on, the pointer's number 1. You didn't get the pointer right, you ain't got nothing right. You ain't got nothing right. I'm breaking down. Let's try this one. Oh, this isn't going to show the pointer, is it? You'd think somewhere in here, IRC, fixed resistors. I don't know what IRC is. The bigger ones. Wire wound? I don't know. Hopefully you can't hear my stomach growling. It's just growling away here. Speaker socket. There's nothing. There is no hint. Okay, so we'll look at the radio cabinet itself here. There's literally no chance that the pointer is talked about on this document, but let's just take a look at what it says. Westinghouse Model 697 AC radio receiver. Patent list, short list. Always use Westinghouse radio tubes and Westinghouse replacement parts. Tube sockets should be filled as shown. For prompt, efficient service, call the dealer from whom you purchased this receiver. Warning! Any person installing or operating this receiving set without having first obtained a license from the Ministry of Transport of Canada is liable, on summary conviction, to a fine not exceeding $25, and the said receiving set may be forfeited to His Majesty. It says, His Majesty, so this is before Queen Elizabeth was there. Of course, His Majesty, there is a His Majesty there now. By order of the minister, for such disposition the minister may direct. That's an extract from the Radio Act of 1938, Radio Regulation Part 2, Part 66, bracket F. Well, that's quite a warning. That's not helping us figure out where the pointer goes. And that's a schematic. That's not going to help either. Okay, so let's look at the dial face here. This is our last hope. Somehow we can figure it out from the dial face. So what we're looking for is like an extra dot or something of that sort. Let's just make this a little easier to see if I do this. So on the left side, you can see this dot, this dot and this dot, but they all just look like part of the dots in here, but they do seem to line up vertically. So that might be the starting point. So if this is 55, 54, this is 53. This is the last frequency that might have a broadcast station on. In fact, there is one on it, I'm pretty sure. Would you want the pointer to go just a little bit past? So now look up here. What's that dot doing there? So they're using little vertical arrows to indicate where the actual number applies. They've left out 100 here in the middle. 110, 120, 130, 140, 150, 160. This dot looks a little weird, but wow, it just doesn't, it's not really, not doing it for me. How would you approach this in this kind of situation? Make sure the pointer swings the same distance this way as it swings that way. So if it stops, so get it so it's balanced. That's probably the best I can do. Can I do that outside the radio? But it's not in the cabinet. I don't think so. To put it in the cabinet, swing it back and forth, move it around until I'm happy. That's about it. Move it around until you're happy. Okay, I'll have to put the radio back in the cabinet here. Okay, so I have the chassis in, but I have not screwed it in place. Instead, I'm just going to look at these and make sure these are centered. And you can see a problem already. And I didn't make this exactly right. These two are centered. This one's off. This one's off a little more. It's possible the radio's not in quite straight, so you can look at the gap here. Button scratched up. And the gap here, it's a little more gappy here. Let's move it a little bit this way if we can. I guess if I put the locking screws in, then that would settle the whole deal, wouldn't it? Because the radio's going to lock in. The speaker's pushed up against the side here. So I think that's perfectly fine, even though I haven't put the locking screws in. Okay, now, what happens with the pointer? So we can make it to 55 here, but not to 53. So a little this way. Look at the other end. Yeah, look at it go way off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line it up with these arrows here, these little, oh, God, my camera's out of focus there. I'm going to line it up like this. That seems to me to be roughly the distance needed. So how am I going to do that? The radio inside, or should I take it out and just guess it? I don't think I should guess it. Because when you go to do this, often the string moves, everything moves, you think you got it and you don't. And there's a trick to doing this too. So let me tip the radio up first. So the trick is that you're going to slide the pointer on the string. So let's say you're going to slide it this way. You might think you should take and clamp the string here so it doesn't move, and then you push this. But in fact, that will cause an increase in the tension, usually in the way the string goes through the pointer. It will cause an increase in the tension. It'll grip harder on the string. So you actually hold the string with pliers or something and push the pointer towards the point you're holding it. And that causes slack to develop in here, and it moves much easier. So that's the trick. It's counterintuitive. That's why I'm explaining it. Now I'm going to attempt to do it. How am I going to do it? It's way up in there. I don't want to be taking this in and out, in and out. Well, let's just try it with fingers here. I don't think there's enough room for me to get in there. I don't think I can hold the string very, very good. Usually I'm using a tool, so okay, pushing. Okay, I pushed the pointer and the string held. Where do we end up? Right where I said I wanted to, right on the end here. So now we'll go to the other end. Did we get it balanced? So what I'm feeling, the string is winding on top of itself on this knob here. So if we do this a few times, you might be able to get further. If you're investigating a radio and considering buying it, and you start turning the knob, and you get part way through, and it seems to be getting, like it doesn't come to a sudden stop. Instead, it feels like it's tightening up. Usually what's happening is the string is doubling over itself down here. And I'm forcing it a bit here. And this kind of problem, yeah, remember I was explaining about the U-shape thing? It relates to the U-shape thing not working properly. Or in this case, the string is traveling back and forth across the shaft, right? It's starting here and then crawling across. It's probably supposed to crawl there. Probably initially it's like this. And what's happening, there is nothing here, and so it's bunging up. So if I can get this to go back and forth a few times, it will probably clear itself. That's my theory. Now how can I tell if I reached the end or not? So I'm listening for a click of the capacitor slamming. Sounds like it. So I didn't quite get far enough because I'm still a little out. I can't get to 530 here. Can't get to this dot either. I move it a little bit further. Let me put it in the middle here where it's a little easier to do. Just a little bit. Just a little bit that way. Okay, so I'm gonna I'm gonna do this. Reach in with this hand. Trying to get a grip on the string here. Let me use a tool. That's not going to work either. We're talking about a tiny amount, Jim. Maybe you should pull the radio out at this point. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I think the string slipped. Oh, I got it moved. I probably moved it too much. Let's see what we got now. Okay, so it's going past these arrows. So you can picture the string crawling across that that section of the knob here, and hopefully it's centering as I do this. Maybe not. I may have to manually do it. So see, we're stopping short here now. So I've moved it too far. Too far, Gender. Uh-oh. That's not good. Oh, no. Well, that sounded like a string breaking. That's what that sounded like. Oh, well. Okay. So all this work down the drain. Let's take the radio out and see what happened here. Oh! It broke. Well, okay. So a lot of these things on these radios, I say to myself while I'm working on them, I'm just practicing. It's the first time through. Something goes wrong, don't get upset, because you should have an expectation that problems will come. And yeah, here we are. Well, what time is it here? So it's 11:30 in the morning. I'm kind of done for today. So I think, unfortunately, I'm going to end the video here. Unfortunately, and tomorrow I'll have to pick it up with a new string. Yeah, well, you know, these are essentially live videos. I can't control what's happening, and better that the string break right now than, you know, 3 days from now when I have this back in its cabinet and happy somewhere than have it break then. That's the good side of the broken string. Okay, well, my work's cut out for me tomorrow, although I'll probably get through it pretty quick and we can get on to the alignment process. Yeah. Well, thanks a lot for watching, and better luck next time. See ya.